Well, joining us here on Christmas Clatter from the Georgia Festival of Trees is Angie Ulibarri. And joining us again here on Christmas Clatter is Randy Santa Dad Powers. A lot of great stuff going on down in Georgia. And thank you so much for both of you hopping on here on Christmas Clatter.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
So happy to be back.
Well, Randy, I'll just call you Santa Dad by your real name. Santa Dad, you contacted me about this Georgia Festival of Trees. It's something you're getting involved with down there. Just tell us a little bit of how you became involved, in the Festival of Trees.
Well, it was pretty straightforward, actually. I mean, but I spoke with you before, and so if listeners want to go back and check out that previous episode, they can learn more about what it is we're doing. But a key part of that is community outreach. And as we headed towards the holiday season, I was looking for a way to generate some activity locally, just thinking around my hometown here. And one of the ideas that came to me was, should I or could I do a festival of trees inside my local community and just help support the local businesses that way? And as I started doing research about it, I thought for sure this was not an original idea. I mean, because I'd seen it in other places. So I started looking around. I saw that Georgia had one, but very quickly I realized that one no longer existed, but there was a new one. And I didn't know anything about it. And so I didn't know a better way to do it than to just jump in with both feet and reach out to the organization and ask questions. And that led me to Miss Angie. And she was very helpful from the very beginning, pulled me right in. And we worked out a way that I could put my skills and availability to the best use to help her promote the festival, which I would not have gotten involved if I didn't believe in what she was trying to do and the backing for where the money was going and all those sorts of things. And so the longer we talked, the more good I felt about it. And she was nice enough to let me join and be a part of the team. So for the last couple of months, I've just kind of been ringing the bell and trying to spread the good word about it and doing anything I can to help amplify her message and the mission of the Georgia Festival of Trees.
Yeah. Yeah, I know your heart, getting to know you over the past several months and stuff, and I know you got a big heart for this kind of thing. Angie, you're doing a lot of good work down there. I've read through your website and things, but for those that have never heard of the Georgia Festival of Trees, just tell us what the charity and the cause is all about.
Well, the general idea is, as Randy mentioned, there was a festival in Atlanta previously that ran for about 30 years. And their festival benefited the Children's Hospital here in Atlanta. And that's a pretty typical Festival of Trees scenario. When we came to Atlanta, we noticed right away that there was no Festival of Trees. And I found that to be interesting in a city of this size. And so, we thought that's really odd. And after a couple of years, decided to take a closer look and see if we couldn't change that, because festivals of this sort are a fabulous fundraising vehicle. But more importantly, well, I don't know if it's more importantly, but just as importantly, they're an incredible community building opportunity. And since I love both of those things, I thought, this is something that I think we can do it, because we know it was done before. It ran a long time, was super successful, much loved in the community. And so we knew that, what better time after coming through COVID and all the difficulties that we've experienced, and the city's so fractured. We needed a really big dose of community building and charitable engagement. And so we set out to do just that. And it was a huge undertaking, because we knew that here in Atlanta, you have to go big or go home. And we had to perform something pretty spectacular to get the city's attention. So we've been working at it for 2 years, and we are 5 days away from opening our first year.
Oh, well, that sounds exciting. For those that possibly not exactly sure what a Festival of Trees is,
Yes.
Just walk us through that process.
So the main show at a festival of trees are the trees, and they come from donors throughout the community, local businesses, families, churches, civic groups, clubs, any number of sources. And these are people who want to design and decorate a tree and bring it for our auction. And that's where the fundraising comes in. It's these trees are auctioned off on the opening night, and then they remain on site on display for the rest of the week for the general public to come and see, because it's not very often you get to see. I think we're going to have approximately 160 designer trees all in one place. It's really fun to just walk through the aisles of trees and see the beautiful creativity that has come from our community. So there's a lot of excitement around coming to see the trees. But in addition, we want to create an enormous festival environment. And so we added a stage that will run entertainment from 3:00 in the afternoon through the rest of the evening. Normally we run it all day with school groups, but COVID kind of put a little bit of a damper on that. No school groups are really performing right now. So our entertainment will start in the late afternoon, and we've got an incredible lineup of local entertainment. And so we're really excited about that. And then we have gift shops that are just filled with all kinds of really fun holiday gifts and house, decorating things. And it's really fun. And we have a children's gift shop full of toys and all kinds of fun things. And we also have a secret Santa shop where the kids can shop for their parents without their parents being present. They have an elf escort, and they can wrap up the gifts and have a nice surprise for their parents. So it's kind of fun. We also have children's activities with games and crafts and all kinds of fun things. And Santa, of course, will be there. So there's a lot going on: food, fun, music, and just a spectacle of it. If it has anything to do with Christmas, you're probably going to see it there.
Yeah, you're making me want to jump in my car and drive the 8 hours to Atlanta just to be a part.
It's going to be fun.
When I first talked to Santa Dad about this, I was like, I think I can make it down there, but with work and the way things ended up falling, it was like, I'm just not going to be able to,
it's
be able to make it. But good Lord willing, I will be down there next year in Atlanta to be a part of this. Because
you have time to plan.
Yes, I'll have time to plan and get it all set up and be down there. But that sounds amazing. It's like, so the trees, let's talk about the trees a little bit before we get like into the charity work and stuff. You said designer trees, and they're done by businesses. So I'm sure there's like, several different flavors of, trees as far as the design. You probably have some stuff that's just really, for lack of a better word, kind of like a traditional Christmas kind of tree. And then you probably have some that are just like abstract, and
Yes.
have you had a chance to see any of the trees yet?
No. Well, I can see the 3 inside my house that are here, and that I did. And I've seen a couple that have been done at the warehouse. We've let a few people come in and do a couple at the warehouse. And I've seen pictures of some others, and I've heard descriptions of yet more. And it's going to be really fun. I can hardly stand it. I can't wait. So the way it works is that on Monday, the 29th of November, that's our decorating day. It's the day before we open, and all of the tree donors will come in and put their trees up. And so it's really, really fun to see these trees come to life. And another component I failed to mention was that we don't stop at just trees. We also have a wreath section.
Oh, wow.
A centerpiece area that is a little bit of a catch-all of some other fun Christmas decor. And then my personal favorite, is the Nativities. And I can say with 100% surety that there are things at this festival that you cannot buy anywhere. You will have the one and only one in existence. So it's pretty cool. We
That
have
is,
seen some really incredible donations. So the nativity selection alone is just awesome.
yeah, that sounds great. You know, I have
Yeah.
a hard. This is a little off subject. I always have a hard time finding a good nativity set for some reason. It's like I look at them and I'm never really quite satisfied with them
I
for some
know.
reason.
I know.
It's like I don't know what it is. It's like some of them are really nice, and it's like no. You know, the best one I found is there's a peanuts one, and then there's that little Fisher Price plastic one, and it's like
I
those are
love the Fisher Price
yes.
one. We have
It,
that. My grandkids love it.
yeah, we put that up. We put that up. It's like that's the best one I've found. You know, you get all those serious ones and stuff, and they just don't seem right. I don't know what
Well,
it
for
is.
the last year, I've collected them for the event
Uh-huh.
because I wasn't sure if people would really catch on to what we were going for.
Right.
So I wanted to create it this year to
Uh-huh.
kind of show the direction we wanted to go. And man, there's some really neat nativities. I'm so excited. So, yeah.
uh, yeah, that is exciting. It's all exciting. That is really exciting. So Santa Dad, you talked about wanting to give back and to you know find a place to have a charitable aspect of Santa Dad and Wellspring Living is what the Georgia Festival. Let me start over with that. Wellspring Living is what the Georgia Festival of Trees is sponsoring and what they're raising funds for. What about Wellspring Living? Just kind of connected with you.
Well, I don't know. I think it was two or three different like ways. Like I thought that I understood why I wanted to support their efforts
Mhm.
at the beginning because they checked all the immediate boxes. Like it's a local thing. I spend a lot of time in Atlanta because I work down there. So there were a lot of things that sort of pulled me in immediately. But the more I learned about it, and then the more I sat with it and thought about it, I think it all comes back to just becoming when I became a father. Like my oldest daughter is 6 years old. She'll be 7 in February. And I was always someone, and maybe this is not that unique, but I was always someone who, although I was an uncle and had friends who had children, I never really felt an attachment. Then we had our first child, then our second child, and then our first child began to go to school. And I would find myself in the car line at school, looking at all the other children and just thinking, I just saw them in a different way.
Mhm.
Like everything was different. Nothing was the same, and so it just sort of sharpened my focus and reminded me that yes, I do care for these children. I don't want anything to happen to any of them. It's not just my little girl I'm worried about. I'm worried about them all, as I saw
Yeah.
them walking to school and things like that. And so I think that part that again, the more I sat with it, that really just kind of sat on my heart and I thought about it a lot. And I'm like, this is a really positive thing because again, at that point I just had to know more. So I began to educate myself about it, see what they did to help people, how it wasn't like a one time thing. Like they're there for the entire process to try to get rid of the scourge of sex trafficking. So and then people who have gone through it and survived it, and there's another side once you get out of that if you're fortunate enough to. And so again, there was a lot of it. So at first it was cursory and then it became much more personal and again I just really I had no issues with stepping in and saying let me lend whatever I can to this effort, be it big or small. I wanted to be able to sort of do what I could to assist, and I just I felt really good about it, and it's an avenue that I probably wouldn't have pursued had I created my own event, right,
Yeah.
of some type. I would have gone a different way, something I was more used to, which is working for, like working with the Northeast Georgia Food Bank and places like that, things that I have experience with. But this was a different way for me to do something. And it's a way that, come to find out, really touched me.
Yeah.
It made me feel something different. So I sleep easy at night knowing I'm involved in doing something to support that effort.
Yeah, yeah, I understand that. Angie, how come the Georgia Festival of Trees chose to partner with Wellspring Living?
Well, that's an interesting story. So over the years, we've lived in a lot of different places and met a lot of different people. And several years ago, our paths crossed with a family who had lost a small child to kidnapping in a foreign country. They lived in Haiti. And I didn't know anything really about it. I never asked the mom about it. I didn't feel like it wasn't right to pry. But I knew about it in a cursory sort of way. And then fast forward a few years, a good friend of mine who also knew this family, she told me about a book that had been written by the president and CEO of Operation Underground Railroad, which is
Mhm.
a group that does they rescue children out of human trafficking all over the world. And he wrote a book, and she said, "You got to read this book. It'll blow your mind." So I read the book and discovered that the whole reason he started what he was doing was because of this family that we knew. And he had been helping them try to find their son. And I never knew their story until I read his book. And it really piqued my interest into the calamity of human trafficking
Yeah.
worldwide. But it wasn't until an accidental stumbling upon some information that I realized that the problem in the United States is different, but just horrific,
Yeah.
and particularly in Atlanta.
Mhm.
It's one of the worst cities in the nation. And this was very eye-opening for me and terrifying. I thought, and it got to the point where I couldn't sleep. It was bothering me so much, and I kept thinking, "Oh my gosh, why is this happening to me?" And I didn't know what to do. I felt like, oh, I could maybe write a check
Mhm.
to somebody and then I would feel better and walk away, but that was not enough. And so I was so tormented by it for so long. I was losing sleep. It was consuming me. And finally
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do. So finally I said, I will set it aside, like make a decision. I'm going to set this aside, and when God is ready to tell me what I am supposed to do, then I'll know.
Mhm.
And I set it aside, and it was about 3 or 6 months later that I was thinking about the Festival of Trees again, and all of a sudden it was just like the two things came together so suddenly. And it's so silly because both were so present in my world, but I never had married them. And when that happened, the engines started turning and things started to move very quickly.
Yeah.
And we knew we needed to pick a charitable organization to support in their somebody who was doing significant work in the state of Georgia in the human trafficking world. And so we started to look at all the different organizations and getting information. And we discovered that Wellspring Living had something that nobody else had, and that was um, a multifaceted approach with an incredibly high percentage of success. And when we looked at their programs, we were like, "This is incredible work, and we want to help them."
Yeah.
And when I say that they have, they look at it from all different aspects. So they have they just opened their center here in Georgia, the Receiving Hope Center, where they take in children ages 12 to 18 or 17 who have just been removed from trafficking situations. They're brought in straight from that into this center where they stay for about 90 days and they never have to leave. Everything they need happens in that center. All of their police interviews take place there. They only have to tell their story once. They see
Right.
a doctor there. They can get everything they need. They go to school there. And it's very stabilizing. And then they help them get into longer term care after that. And they are the only place of that kind in the state of Georgia. It is where all police officers and other law enforcement bring children who are found to be in these situations.
Yeah.
That's significant work. And they also are able now to take boys and transgender youth, which I think is pretty amazing.
Yeah,
So,
that's fantastic.
so we liked that. And then we liked the fact that they did long-term care. They
Mhm.
helped women rebuild their lives and boys, sorry.
Mhm.
And beyond that, they're in the Atlanta public school system at the alternative high school, where they have a program that helps to identify at-risk youth and hopefully intervene before anything happens.
Yeah.
And those things really spoke to me. And I thought, you know, they're just taking all these different approaches, and it meant a lot to me. And I thought, these are the people I want to be involved with. So we did it, and they've been great partners. We really enjoyed getting to know them and seeing the great work they're doing.
Yeah. I really when I've looked for different charities to be a part of throughout different times in my life, and one thing I always look for is for that charity that just doesn't have that revolving door of, oh, you're here, here's a little help, you're pat you on the head and you're on your way. I guess there's a time and place for things like that in certain situations, but to have a charity that's like committed to the long haul for people that
Mm-hmm.
need the help is really something special, because that takes so much commitment, not only financially, but just in time and and effort and things. And so to find a charity that will take um you know situations that are just so dire and hard to talk about and even hard to like comprehend, and people, and kids that really need the help. It's just it really you know it's really something that needs to be addressed, not only in Atlanta, but nationwide, worldwide, because
Right.
it is a terrible problem. One thing I thought about when I was doing research and stuff is it's real fitting that you're the you know Georgia Festival of Trees, and it's Christmas and Christmas celebrations, that is raising money for a charity like Wellspring Living, because my one probably my favorite Christmas song is "Oh Holy Night," which is originally French, and it was translated in 1855 into English by um, John Sullivan Dwight, and he kind of turned one of the verses a little bit more poignant than it originally should have been translated in the French, and that verse was "The chain shall he break, for the slave is our brother," and this was like 6 years before the Civil War, so you know not that it had like a monstrous impact on the Civil War, but you could just see how such a popular Christmas song could get in people's hearts and in their minds, and start making that transition to start ending that terrible um situation, that terrible policy that the United States have. So it's real fitting that the tree festival of trees is kind of y- forgive my pun here, getting back to some of the Christmas roots of making sure people have that freedom that they were born with and deserve, and things. So that just, I don't know, it just seemed like a little bit of symmetry, a little bit of synchrony there,
Mm-hmm.
between the two, and I just I don't know, it hit me funny. It
Yeah.
just kind of
Yeah.
warmed my heart. But it is a really, really great charity, and I encourage each and every person to take a look at it, and take a look at the Georgia Festival of Trees, um, to get involved, and make sure you follow you guys on the social medias, and take a look at your website. So, what is the first day of the Georgia Festival of Trees? What day do
The
you?
first day is Tuesday, November 30th. We
Okay,
open in the evening for our auction.
all right. Well,
Fine times.
yep. So that as this episode airs, of course, we're recording a few days before. As this episode airs, today is November 29th, so that's tomorrow. It will be opening, if you're listening to this the day it comes out. So if you're in the Georgia area, and I'm just going to say this whole state because Atlanta's not far from wherever you are,
Nope.
and make your way there for the part of the week or the weekend, and get involved, and at least buy a ticket, walk through, buy some snacks, listen to some music, buy some Christmas presents, and you know be a part, and you never know who you'll meet, who you'll run into, and your support, and your support just in attendance would be a wonderful thing, because then that way the 2022 Georgia Festival of Trees could be even larger. So
Yes.
Angie, let everybody know where they can find you, find the Georgia Festival of Trees and Wellspring Living.
So you can find us on the web at gafestivaloftrees.org. Our on Instagram, Georgia Festival of Trees. Facebook is also Georgia Festival of Trees. And Wellspring Living is wellspringliving.org. They're very much worth taking a peek at their website. They're pretty cool. And let's see, I think that's all of the important stuff. And just so everybody knows, we've tried to make the festival, it's happening in downtown Atlanta, and downtown Atlanta and affordable usually don't go together, but we wanted it to. So we've priced our tickets so that families can come. And so check us out. You can buy tickets online, watch for, let's see I think we'll probably run a sale all the way through Tuesday. So,
Nice.
Be watching for our sale price on our website. And you can also buy tickets at the door, but you get a better deal online. So,
Yeah, definitely check those out. And all those links will be in the show notes and description. So if you're driving or unable to write those down, you'll just be a tap away if you open up the show notes. And Santa Dad, where can everybody find you?
It's pretty simple. We are at the Santa Dad across all the socials. So whatever your favorite, find us there. We have some sort of presence. Some are goofier than others. And to follow along on what Angie was saying, the Georgia Festival of Trees, when I think about it, it fell right in line with what we believe, which is that Christmas is for everyone. So just come down. There's guaranteed to be something there for you that you can enjoy. Check it out. Again, hit the socials, hit Wellspring Living, Georgia Festival of Trees, check my pages, check my website, because you find all kinds of goodies, discount codes, and things like that. So be sure to look around, check us out, and I would love to hear from you about this or anything else.
All right. Man, I love this episode, guys, because it's you hid some Easter eggs for me. I have my I call it my Christmas Eve episode, which I always have a Christmas message for. I always release it on the 23rd, though, then on Christmas Eve. And we talked about mangers, and Santa Dad, you said that Christmas is for everyone, and those are some Easter eggs for my Christmas Eve message to everybody this year. So that's a little teaser. Guys, thanks so much for hopping on here with me. And before we go, I'm going to pop up here on the screen a t-shirt. You guys remember in October we did Christmas Without Cancer. You can buy a t-shirt, proceeds go to Christmas Without Cancer. We're going to do the same thing for the Georgia Festival of Trees. Here's this Festival of Trees t-shirt. This design, any proceeds of this design, whether it's a t-shirt or a coffee mug, whatever you buy, a sticker, all the proceeds will go directly to the Georgia Festival of Trees. And that will be running from now through, let's just say through the rest of the year, and probably trickle off into January, because I'm not real great about taking that stuff down right away. But for a little over a month or so, and that'd be a great way if you guys aren't close to, you're far away the other side of the world or across the country. Grab a great t-shirt and support a great cause. And Angie, thank you. Santa Dad, thank you. And
thank you.
if I don't talk to either one of you before, you both have a very Merry Christmas.
Thank
Merry
you.
Christmas, y'all.
You too. And thanks for your time.
Oh,
It was an
anytime.
honor.
Anytime. Christmas Clatter is a production of Very Merry Media. And as always, keep Christmas hope alive every day.